Machine guns raking the camp, mortar rounds exploding around them. A small group of Green Berets fought desperately to hold the fortified 80 camp at Hiep Hoa. It was midnight, November 22, 1963, and the camp was about to be overrun by hundreds of Viet-Cong. This channel's mission is to challenge the Vietnam orthodoxy through reference to primary sources. Much of what you know about the Vietnam War is either incomplete or false. Please consider supporting this channel and its mission through Patreon. The link is in the description. The camp at Hiep Hoa had been established by Detachment A-21 of 5th Special Forces Group in the Plain of Reeds, an inland wetland in the Hoa Nha province, 45 miles northeast of Saigon. It was constructed on the bank of a canal and covered an area 125 by 100 metres. Barbed wire encircled the camp, and each corner was protected by a .30 caliber machine gun emplacement, with two 81mm mortars positioned near the gates. The high level of security was justified. The camp was located near the Parrot's Beak, a salient of the Cambodian Phai Giang province that projected into Hoa Nha and Kiên Tuong provinces. The Parrot's Beak was a base and rest area for the PAVN and Viet-Cong. 5th and 7th Special Forces Groups at Fort Bragg and 1st Special Forces Group on Okinawa contributed all but 98 of the 674 men of US Army Special Forces Vietnam Provisional. USSF Provisional was formed in Saigon in 1962 and assumed control of the SIG program from the CIA on July 1, 1963, advising and assisting the South Vietnamese government in the organisation, training, equipping and employment of the civilian irregular defence groups. In late October 1963, several VC surrendered at the Hiep Hoa camp, claiming they wished to defect. The layout of the camp had been provided to the VC by communist agents, who had also reported that the camp was at half strength, as the detachment commander, Captain Doug Horn, had left earlier with a 36-man Special Forces and SIG force. And on the night of November 22, 1963, just after midnight, an estimated 400 to 500 VC attacked the camp. VC sympathisers inside the camp killed the guards, manned a machine gun position, and engaged the camp's occupants as they emerged from their billets, and VC climbed the camp walls, shouting "Don't shoot" to the SIG defenders, claiming that they only wanted the Americans and the weapons. Several of these Special Forces soldiers manned a machine gun position and desperately tried to stop the attackers. Sergeant First Class Isaac Ike Camacho ran to the mortar bunker with a carbine, and once there began to drop mortar rounds on the VC. 30 minutes later he was joined by Lieutenant John R. Colby, the detachment's executive officer. Colby was attempting to rally the defenders, but realising that some of the SIG were fleeing the camp, he decided the situation was hopeless, handed Camacho a grenade, and ordered him to leave. Camacho briefly left the camp, then decided to return, but inside the camp he encountered heavier fire and exploding mortar rounds. An arriving PAVN mortar unit had added its fire to the assault, and the mortar rounds helped to overwhelm the defenders. Confronted by VC, Camacho engaged them with his carbine, tossed the grenade at them, then took refuge in a machine gun bunker. However, the VC quickly located Camacho, together with Sergeant George E. Smith, Specialist Claude McClure, and Staff Sergeant Kenneth M. Rohrbach. The men were subdued, then dragged through the barbed wire and out of the camp's perimeter. As arriving close support aircraft began to drop napalm and make strafing runs, their hands were tied tight at the elbows, rope was placed around their necks, and the men were led away from the camp and into captivity. Hiep Hoa had become the first SIG camp to be overrun, and Camacho would later become the first American to escape captivity from the Viet-Cong.